dragged forward by Gjerdalen, and Gjerdalen's still with them.
Halvarsson of Sweden in the white, almost back with them now. And it's just going to be interesting. They'll be well aware, Mike, that if they slow this down, if they become too cat and mouse, they're going to give one or two others the chance to close. I mean, there's a 30-second break, and they really don't want to give that up now to the main pack that are chasing them.
Yeah, that is absolutely right, but it's mainly red suits gathering at the front for the
Norwegians. I just caught a sight of Daniel Rickardsen. Just in the distance, got work to do. But now, moving forward here, Peter Eliasson. And this is turning out to be some day. Roland Clara, Eliasson, Legkoff. I don't know what sort of engine Legkoff's got, but goodness gracious, it's going to need a post-season service after this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The number of times he's just been up at the top of the race, stretching out now. You can see, look at this, more Indian style. There is pace in the race now.
They're hurting, the pace is painful. Another athlete has just pulled out, David, and with a surname of Northug, but it's not Peder, it's his brother Thomas.
And it's a question of whether somebody can put in a sustained burst now. That's the point. Little bursts don't actually achieve anything. It's a sustained burst that they need to do. I mean, are they worried about Northug? Of course they are, but, they can only guess how he feels. Halvarsson, you see, he was almost attached and now detached because he couldn't just go, and now he's struggling. Look at the upper body there, rocking from side to side, and there is Daniel Rickardsen wearing 21, just remorselessly beginning to reel them in as if he's got them on a piece of string. He's got a bit of traffic to go through, Rickardsen, but look at him, great purchase there.
There's still plenty of distance left. That this race has still got 35 minutes to run, and this is the toughest, obviously, toughest 35 minutes of this race.
Giorgio De Cento in that chasing group as well. How often have we said, why didn't you retire when you won the 50 at the Olympics? Why? Because he's just got amazing passion for this sport.
He loves it, and he still believes, and I hope we see him in Sochi at the age of 41.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it? Canadians haven't got into this at all. Kershaw, Babikoff, Alex Harvey, none of them really.
Gjerdalen has thrown his hat off, so he's meaning business. It is warm here today.
42, that is Remo Fischer, who had a share of the lead once upon a time. And I don't think it's going to be long before Rickardsen heads this little group and goes on the chase, He just... Actually, the problem is that they're going to come to a bonus point, and that means they're going to sprint from the front here, which is just going to make it a little harder for him.
Well, just under 15 kilometers left.
So hard to pace this race, but he is a little bit like the head waiter, Daniel Rickardsen, and it was towards the end of the race that he started to close up on Johan Olsen, but he closed, but he couldn't pass. And then, as a result of that effort, he was lost, he was out of the medals. So what he's thinking about is, I don't want to do too much too early. But on the other hand, how late can he leave it? Well, whilst we deserted you, the bonus point sprint there going to Roland Clara, and Northug, you can see in 6th place, about 10 seconds off the lead. Here you've got 7, that's Legjanin, and he's leading Giorgio De Cento and Rickardsen, 37 seconds. Now Rickardsen was gaining ground, but because of that sprint, as a result of that, he's now over 30 seconds. He lost effectively 7 seconds because of the men going for the sprint.
And I think that's a good indication. I think you're right. Rickardsen level pacing, and of course at the sharp end they're working so hard for these bonus points.
And that's how it really can distort the race. Whether it distorts it in a good way or another way, I'm still undecided.
It certainly makes it interesting, and it does make it a very fast race, and I think that's why they put these bonus sections in. And this could now, or we've said this a couple of times, be the decisive group, the decisive break, because Cologna's back now with Peder Northug, and they're just watching each other. But they better watch Legkoff, because he's going to pick up possibly the win today. Unlikely, but possibly.
Yeah, well, that would be something for the Russians, who really in the men's division have really come on. You know, a win here for them would be huge. Just, you know, thinking about this, you know, we're less than a year to Sochi and the Olympic Games. How many near misses? How many times has Legkov been fourth, not on the podium? All too many. But to win here, some people, you know, traditionally, Mike, when it was a time trial, an individual time trial in classic style, some people would have easily said to you, to win the Holmenkollen Gold 50-kilometer time trial classic, for me, that's as good as winning the Olympics, let alone winning the World Championships.
Do you know, I think you've put it into perspective there, and that's what so many of these athletes feel and believe as well. But on the individual time trial, it's still something special to win it here as a mass start. Your name is around forever to have mastered this course.
There's confirmation of those bonus points there, and it gives you just a reminder of who was up front. And 24, that is Peter Eliasson for Norway, and you can see how they're spread out now as a result of that bonus sprint. Now, the other question is, Mike, you know, providing now their skis are going okay, they could, but they dare not change next time. So there's Jadalen, bald-headed, grafting away. Peder Northug, then Colonia, and right behind Johannes Duhr of Austria. So if you're joining us in Asia Pacific, a very good afternoon to you from Mike Dixon and myself, David Goldstrom. We are in the last rotations of this men's 50-kilometer classic marathon on the famous trails of Oslo's Holmenkollen, with thousands around the course here. And at the moment, it's Peter Eliasson of Norway leading from Russia's Alexander Legkov, with Italy's Roland Clara in the blue in third place with the bobble on his hat. And then you've got Sundby, and also in there in fifth place Chanusov for Russia. So this is the sort of atmosphere that we've come to expect here, and it is these men going out on the second part of the penultimate rotation and having a look around. Peder Northug, Jadalen off the pace, but not that far behind, with Dario Colonia, the World Cup leader, there in the yellow bib. Preceding him, Peder Northug now getting back into the action. Swinging round in front of the royal box on the left, and there's a gathering of activity there, chasing them hard, wearing 8. That's Shurota. Then Giorgio Jacenta, the Olympic champion from 2006, who accelerates past. Then Daniel Rickardson in white for Sweden. Then Leggjanin wearing 7. That's the next little chase group, and it's 140 meters between them and the leaders.
What a race, and Peder Northug, when he's apparently suffering, he'll turn it all around and get back, make contact, bridge the lead group one more time. And just over 1 lap left of 8 kilometers. We've still got this little undulating section here in the stadium area.
And look at that, they've been racing now for just under 1 hour and 40 minutes on. Mike, what has been quite a quick journey. Why? Because of the bonus point sprints introduced into this race.
Well, that's right. Each time around, so 6 times around this 8.3 kilometer track, and at 3 kilometers distance from the stadium, there are your points. 15 for the fastest man through, 12 and 10 and all the way down for the first 15 athletes. And it really has changed the shape and the personality of this race. And we've only now got this, as we can see in front of us, a few strong men still keeping the pace so hard.
And for those who've just joined us, just to reiterate that those points Mike just alluded to, they not only count for the distance crystal globe, they count for the overall and this special extra BMW X-Drive trophy at the end. And Cologne working hard, but how much petrol is left in the tank?
David, this is really decisive maybe for the overall World Cup total score, because Cologne is going through a really bad patch. Petter Northug, for the first time in the last half an hour, is now ahead of him, and if the more Cologne is getting detached, the more dispirited he will become, and that will give Petter Northug energy.
Peter Ellison having a great race, the Norwegian here. This is a man who certainly can do the distance, as he showed in the World Championships, Mike. He was 14th, and I said a lot earlier in the race I thought he could finish certainly higher than that. He's got a major opportunity now, because he's right up there and he's looking strong, and he's comfortable in front as well.
Oh, he does look extremely strong. There's Cologne's time, 16 behind. Petter Northug's only 3.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, the master sprinter, but still they've got some way before they get back into the stadium now. And you can see here 3, 6, 7 men involved. And where's Cologne? There's Cologne. He's just coming across the bridge now, and that looks like a gap that will not be closed.
And did you see that? Petter Northug had a good look over his left shoulder, and he's thinking, yes, I've snapped him. I've actually got, I am going to get more points than Cologne today. Well, it's not finished yet, though.
No, it certainly isn't finished, and there's Eliasson leading up there. Legkop in second place for Russia. He's barely been out of the first 3, wearing 9. Fresh legs. Sundby coming back after getting over the flu and fever, and looking pretty solid there. Roland Claro in blue, the best for Italy. And then that should be Chernousov there in just behind. And the other one is Austria's Alexander Dur there. So Chernousov having a pretty good race, and Yadalen, the bald head, at the back here. Now here comes Cologne. In fact, that's Dur behind Cologne. My apologies about that. And there, 21, Rickardson. Here comes the Swede. He is their big hope, being chased here by Legjanin and Giorgio De Centa. And you know that Rickardson is going to gobble up Cologne pretty soon.
Unbelievable. The race still has a long way to go, and as we saw in Italy, the last rotation, the last 8 kilometres are a vital 8 kilometres, and so much can still change in this race.
Rickardson, though, still vulnerable, Mike, because he really needs to get contact, you know, by the time they get to the stadium, for the simple reason that he needs to be there or thereabouts when they come to that last bonus sprint, when they go out again. I don't think if he's caught with too much of a gap after the next bonus sprint that he actually can, you know, go and get onto the podium. The gap is just too wide, and he's still got a lot of work to do. I mean, he must be about 15 seconds off at the moment.
He must be. I'm just wondering now, as we're 1 kilometre from the final time into the stadium for the final opportunity to change your skis, I'm wondering who's going to go in there, or will anybody?
You can't give away 20 seconds. None of these guys can give away 20 seconds.
No. It doesn't seem likely. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, it's going to be a brave man who takes a 20-second bite here and do that, because they're all thinking about each other, but they all know how their skis are going, because they can feel it there. Roland Clara coming through again. Eliasson wearing 24. Petter Northug, white hat, wearing bib number 4. Legkop, red bib, distance leader. 9 there, Sundby, and also Chernousov. This is what it's about. You've got Italy and Norway and Russia solidly involved here in this race, and those are the nations involved for this prestigious victory that all of them want, all of them crave for, all of them dream of. Northug's done it before.
Oh, amazing. In fact, Northug, when he won the World Championships here, he had been training in the autumn, so in the summer months, on these hills, interval training, getting his mind and his body. Yes, he had no skis on his feet, but he was reading the feeling up these hills. He'll remember that feeling right now.
So, no doubt that Yadalen certainly helped him, gave him a helping hand. Now look at the coaches here. You see, here's a repositioning of things, because now you've also got to make decisions. Do I take a drink? Probably yes, because this is the last opportunity.